in our part of the world. 1860s, the British colonial lords who were eager for conquest and for material needs for a capital industry in Europe went around the world, first of all in the 16th century as explorers, entered waters with ships, with boats, Vasco da Gama, Christopher Columbus, and all the names, and they were discovering people who lived elsewhere. Of course, people were living elsewhere, and you saw them, but you are not a discoverer. But by virtue of having claimed that they were discoverers, they became discoverers. They land in Cape of Good Hope. They land in Guinea in the coast of West Africa. Guinea, a Portuguese word which means black. And then what is this? Black. Black people living on those coasts. They took some of them as slaves from 1426 to almost 300 years until 1810 when it was forbidden by law. Over 20 million black Africans had been carted away on the transatlantic route. Not to talk of those who had been carted away on the trans-Saharan route. Not to be talking about those who have been done internal slave trade. So you had a continent that was marketing people. We are discussing culture, but you can't discuss culture without its historical link. The history of a people who for 300 plus years were being marketed as chattel, as goods, and being sold, which means they had no subjective value, they were objects. An object is that which you transmit, transact. I give you this, and you get this. You go to Mauritania today, you even go to the parts of top Niger, you see people standing on the roads, and they are being sold till tomorrow. People stand, you see camel, you see human being, and many of them are people that transacted from everywhere. They are called slaves. Then you take them for 1 week or for 1 month or for 20, and then you pay the owner of these slaves because you have taken people from them. We are discussing culture. So the African people had been inundated and conquered by a race from outside, by the Arabic, by the European. Well, the internal slave trade, Chinua Achebe will tell us, was not this, and Olaudah Equiano, if you read that book, the narrative, the interesting story, the narrative of a young boy who had been taken in 1730s out of Africa and was brought to Britain. He ended up being a top boy, became even a medical doctor in Britain, but he wrote a book when he was 11, how he was taken away from his village and brought to abroad. And the book is titled The Interesting Narratives of Olaudah Equiano. And Equiano is not his family name. It's possible that he came from Equiano. So Equiano may be his town. But in that narrative, he says, we distinguish between the slavery that came from outside and the slavery of the internal. What was the slavery of the internal? The slavery of the internal was, even when there was a war, read Things Fall Apart of Chinua Achebe, and a village conquered another. You took the people you had conquered, but they lived with you. They ate your food. They lived under your roof. They went to the same farm. And so, but you are not the same equality. But there is something about the conquering slaves from Arab. When the Arabians will come, think about what happened in North Africa, Morocco, and so on. They will come, take black slaves. The blacks will come, impregnate their daughters because they practice what they call, what do you call it? You know, when brother marries brother and sister marries, you know, incest. So they were now producing children who were autistic because it's medically unacceptable. It is just a contradiction in medical terms, but some of you know it better. So what did they do? They came to black Africa, took blacks, made their daughters pregnant, and then they sold off the blacks again. So children, but just to reinvent the blood. But children born never knew their fathers. They only knew their mothers. That was the extent of making the black race actually completely get out. They were only used as tools, but then you throw them out. But then the European slave trade was even worse. Then they took you, brought you to the international continent, brought you to, you just were a productive factor. You were just someone who worked in the plantations, did the works, but then you had no business relationship with the family. You lived there, they lived there. All that is part of the ingredients that make the pressure that put the African people at a minus. 350 years, others were moving forward. 350 years, you were afraid of being kidnapped, of being sold into slavery. Even when we discuss today international developments, what do you see? What you see in international developments is that whereas others have continued without break, we are still trying to catch up. So when you go to school, you have to speak English. It's trying to catch up. Everything are trying to catch up. And people who are trying to catch up overdo things. When the opposite coat, or you'll slippers, bow tie, or dabaro. When I show you more yibo, coat. So there is a cultural bazaar. What JAND has tried to do is to look at domestic tourism, but bring in the elements of culture into this discussion. And now I come to the last portion of my reflection, just to fill the gap of what's happening here, and to say that we have some questions to answer. Culture transmits values, and values must be sustainable. But our African cultures are part of those cultures that must transmit values. For example, family, extended family. It's part of our culture. That when there's father and mother, and our choice you are going to marry or whatever it is, the whole family is part of it. It's a very important culture, which means community is stronger than the individual. The entire African system, which I try to describe now, is the relevance of a community life vis-a-vis an individualistic life. What is the threat to our society? The threat to our society is that I am more important than the whole community. In fact, I can even sell the community, buy the community. I can put on my radio, make as much noise as possible, disturb those who are sleeping. I can even build my house in the middle of a main road that government has decided to be a main road and say, well, I have money, so let me buy the main road. And when another government comes to pull down the road, say, these are wicked people. But eventually, it is the crisis of the individual vis-a-vis the community. So African cultures stand for community. Many European cultures stand for the individual, and then you see the crisis. Another one, for example, is the entire thing about the economy. When you look at the economy, is man for the economy or economy for man? The Catholic Church will say the economy is for the human person, and the driver of the economy is the human person. But what we see in reality is that the human person is now a servant of the economy. You are now a chattel of the economy. The economy which must profit and benefit you makes you now a slave. So I walk now out of this Independence layout, go to the junction there, and I see people standing there with a shovel, with a hoe, with a knife. Then I stop my car and say, which one be this one? You be messing? Okay, I need day job. Then the person will rush, bring his shovel and so on, jump into your car in dirty clothing. You carry there's no respect. There's no dignity. It's only a transaction. It is, you do me day job. If you came at 12, I reduce the day job. And this is, again, a dimension of slave trade. But I'm talking about how the economy has become a threat to our cultural independence and to our cultural authenticity. But another level is even religion. In African cultures, for example, religion was something that was self-evident. People had, because in religion was a relationship with religio, transcendence. The relationship between the human being that was, finite, and transcendent that was infinite. That's why people will wake up in the morning, wonder. We live in a world of wonder. What's the cause of it all? Where do we come from? Where are we going? What is the essence of life? Who made me? Those nice questions that are very critical for normal life. And in the context of all these, what do you see? The African went into religiosity. But this religion was not discipline. It was a religion of onye na chia. Onye kwe, chia kwe. And onye na chia means, ana m agụ anedo. Gị nwa na-agụ nke ọzọ. Ana m agụ anyanwụ. Ana m agụ osisi. ana m agọ mmiri. So onye ọbụla na-agọ nke ya because onye na-chi ya. But that kind of religiosity made the African religion, but not necessarily free. They became a place like Mr. Ani, and Ibogo, and Ebonam, and Ikwenwa, including Oka and so on. And you go to some other areas, like when you go to Ebonyi, is Mbada, and things like that. So, and it shows you the linkage between nature and the human sense of belief. But even then, culture respects religion, integrates religion, but a liberating culture makes religion also part of that which fulfills, not part of that which negates. Because somehow now, for everything, like we want to drink water, water is there, but you're waiting for God to put it in your mouth. Food is there, but you're waiting for God to come and plant the yam for you. So you create a dependence that is not necessary. Because God has given all things to us only to manage them. But we who are managers are telling, come and cook the food, come and give us the food. Not even to die is now free. When we have to die, somebody has caused it. A 90-year-old man died, go and look for the wife. She was responsible for him. And I got choice here. I got jelly bedibie. In fact, I got buri okoko. I got buri ewu nefi to accept death. My topic is culture as a compass, reclaiming values. If you allow me, I would like to round up. Because, yes, I wasn't told how much time I have. I know they gave me about 40 minutes. This is too long. I'm not spoken for 40 minutes. I won't take 40 minutes. But I really want to think that the topic of culture as a compass needs a redefinition. Culture is not static. Culture is dynamic. When you look at our children who speak various languages, who've seen various types of worlds, they have seen the European world, the African world, the Asian world. When you see Chinese here in Enugu selling Igbo food, cassava and rice, and selling them in Igbo language, Chinese restaurant, not the one, I'm not the normal Chinese, but Chinese who are cooking food. You just only need to, and they speak in Igbo. Chinese giving you a gusi and onubo soup. They have adapted. So we are talking about cultural adaptation, which is now constant in our societies, that we are living in a cultural bazaar, like I've said, and people do not belong to nowhere. They don't know which culture am I. When a child cannot speak English, does not even know where you come from. Ask people, where do you come from? I come from Anambra State. Ebe in Anambra State. Do you know your grandfather? No. Do you know your grandmother? No. Can you speak your language? No. Have you ever visited your original village? No. So you are a culture, a person of culture, because we must be people of culture, but you have no foundations. This is the tragedy of the African personality and the African peoples. Chuba Okadibo was our teacher in Bigad. He taught us African personality, and what he tried to use to help us grow is to say, you are black and beautiful. There's a book in the Bible, the book of Chronicles, chapter 1. There's a passage, verse 1 to 5. The writer says, I am black. Marriott, and all the names they answer, Hilton, Legend, Legacy hotels. So when you land, you go to many of the nice hotels. And when you come to even when you have many of these are nice hotels where the fans are from China, the glasses are from Japan, the carpets are from Arab land, Turkey, the furniture are from Coal Camp. You know, the mixture of all sorts of things in any room. And they look nice, but they look imposing and they don't look. When you go to another country, you see how they are. So we're talking about the hotels now. Even when you come to those hotels, the receptionist will say, yes, anything I can do for you? Why are you here? Did you have a booking? There's something about good morning, sir. Welcome. How are you? Can I help you? Have you a booking? I came to a hotel in Switzerland where we were booked for a conference. And before I arrived, because it was said I will be there, before I arrived, welcome, Dr. Ike, we are expecting you. I opened my heart. If I go back, I'll go to Winterthur again because it's a hotel that is nice. And someone will come and pick your box. Here you land in a hotel, make a long journey, you come. So Jan says, I want to put value, business school. I want people to learn about the schools, about how to make tourism something. I want to train people and give them certification for being tourist managers. That's very important. That's a gap we have in our society. We had 6 months ago a visitor from Angola. This lady came saying, I want to build a tourism school in Enugu or in Nigeria. And as I'm just going around to find it, I said, that's a very good thing for when I bring investment. Because if you have a tourism school, so-called, we use the word unemployed. I've debated that many times, that unemployed is also a cultural imposition. Nobody is unemployed in our part of the world. No gebo. If your father is a farmer, everybody is a farmer. If you are a trader, everybody is a trader. There's not like Onyengana, somebody who does nothing. But somebody who finish university says, I'm unemployed, which means I am waiting for somebody to buy me and pay me every month. That concept of slave trade continuing in many other forms, because self-employment is what people always did. The farmer was self-employed, the trader was self-employed, the skills person was self-employed, and even then when you had to help others, they came also and helped you. But here we have the knowledge, that they will finish with the knowledge, come and say, can anybody buy me? Then the writer says, I want to be employed. Say, what do you want to do? Anything. That's also the other language. Just employ me to do anything. So you employ you to do anything. At the end of the month, do I pay you anything? I pay you anything, of course. And because I pay you anything, you cannot deal with the money. And I employ 20, 30 people to work in a hotel here. That's part of the thing. Somebody will open the door. Somebody will welcome you. Somebody will write the receipt when you go to eat. Somebody will carry the plate. Somebody will bring the food. In serving one person, you have 8 persons serving you. How can you pay them well? I'm talking to hoteliers. You employ everybody and you cannot pay them. So this one 30,000, this one 20,000. That's why they say, oh God, welcome, anything for me before you arrive. And when you come to another someone, anything for me, of course, if you're a serious traveler, you have to look at it again. What we are discussing is how values can now become part of the moderating influence in our environment of trying to increase domestic culture and domestic travels and domestic tourism. It's not going to be easy, but here we see the ambition of a government, and many of you are now practitioners. JAND is an organization, is an agency trying to respond to this need by building a business tourism center, a school that gives you certificates, by making it possible for tourists or hoteliers to come together and even learn the trade, by making sure that as I'm being booked, I was on my way to Kenya once, I went to JAND and said, I would like a ticket to go to Nairobi because I have a conference. And what did JAND say? They gave me the offer for the ticket. They arranged my visa. They delivered my entire thing at my door, all within 24 hours. Are we listening? So this is something when I go to a tourism organization, I expect. So as I was landing in Nairobi, I didn't have any troubles. My tickets were there. My visa they do what you call e-visa was already ready. So I wish for all of us to bring in the elements of authentic cultural rejuvenation into our discussion, to see that there is something beautiful about our African cultures. The clothing you wear, but it's not enough. You cannot wear the clothing so you don't have the language, you don't have the soul of being an African. Only in music, that's where we are superlative. There are 10 different music groups making noise, all of them dancing and entertaining them, and in food and eating. I think that place is also where we are very, very good. But it's not enough. We must do much more. Thank you for listening to me. What I did was to fill the gap in terms of the speeches. I will not make another speech in the afternoon, but we are waiting for all those who have been invited to make their speeches. May God bless this conference and bless you all.
Thank you so much. Please, a resounding round of applause for Professor Monsignor Obiora Ike. Thank you, Prof, for that powerful and thought-provoking address. Your words have just reminded us that culture is not static. Culture is living, breathing, and of course, deeply tied to our values, our identity, and our future. We are truly honored to have had the opportunity to listen to you, Prof. Thank you so very much. May I quickly recognize some of us who joined us in the course of a Prof's speech. First is Ebubedike Chief Vin Martin Ilo. I call him my senior colleague. He is the President and Chief Executive Officer, Signature TV. Ebubedike, you're welcome. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have joining us is Barrister Sam Otobeze, President, Nsukka Chamber of Commerce. President, Barrister Sam Otobeze Foundation, and CEO, Abokus Integrated Securities Limited. I think he stepped out, but let's clap for him in absentia, please. We have Osita Nwafo. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Plus Consulting and Counsel. Council member, 9th Mile Chamber of Commerce. 9th Mile Chamber of Commerce, 9CCIMA. Please, a round of applause for Osita Nwafo. May I invite my colleague to step in? Thank you.
Thank you very much, CJ. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, posterity will not forgive me if I did not join my voices in welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Signature Television, former Special Advisor to the Governor of Enugu State on Information, Chief Ebubedike Vin Martin Ilo. Thank you so much. He belongs to our constituency, so don't be jealous of him. Thank you so much. Then my in-law, who gave me a very beautiful wife. You know, those of us who are marrying beautiful ladies are always happy. Your own is also beautiful. Don't mind me. Chief Osita Nwafo, Abonwe Dikizu, one of Eziago. Sir, you're welcome. He's also of the wife for political dynasty. Thank you so much. God bless you, my in-law. Professor Moxino Obioraike is a renowned scholar when it comes to African culture, tourism, and above all, he is a man of high repute. Listening to him each time makes me feel na brain nke ma aboden shidi. His intimidating way of delivering his lectures, very apt, without papers. He will travel around the world with you, come down and say all the things that you needed to hear. I remember one beautiful afternoon at Michael Opera Square. He took us around the world and came to dignify Africa and African women. My brother, this man is something else. Can you give him a round of applause? Most of the time I had wished, Ndoka Catholic, but I had wished he's not a priest. That's my wish. Because what we're doing here is an African thing. And I can tell you that in olden days, communities will look at a brilliant young man and they will say, what do? They begin to arrange either a wife or a young maidens for him to, true of us. So each time when I look at a prophet, I say, how are we going to reproduce this man of honor? And he has also given answers to that. Mentorship. Prof, by next year, some of us will begin to write to Nigerian embassies to stop giving you visas to travel so that you have time to stay here and mentor some of us. Thank you so much. And thank you, Jans, for bringing cream of personalities that you brought here to be with us. We're going to move straight to we have directors, so I've signaled my colleague to help me get the director so that we'll know how to move. If the DJ is around, can we have a musical interlude while we are waiting for directives? Thank you so much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have been sent on errand, but on my way, I mkpokuru something. Prof, ọkwa agwa akụziri anyị na ọ na-abụ mmanya fụ onye ọma obee ugwu. Achọrọ m ịpụ ka m jee kpọọ mmadụ, mana m wee fụzi oke mmadụ nọ n'ime ọgbọ anyị, just nọrọ nnọọ quietly. Nọdụ quietly. Ọ chọrọ ikwu okwu, mana nsị ka m bịa nabata ya. Ana m ekwu maka Chief Emeka Mba, CEO, Afia Radio and TV. He is here quietly sitting. Biko ka akụsielu ni akike. Let's clap for him. Chief Emeka Mba, you're welcome. You're welcome, Chief.
Thank you very much, Chief Emeka Mba, the man who is changing the narrative in private broadcasting, Afia Television and Radio. Before now, I've recognized the institution, and I am happy that the CEO is here present. Thank you so much. Emeka has been very committed in changing the narrative of Nigerians. When we had a NIDCOM program at Old Government Lodge, he told Bike Dabre that a lot of things can be done to change the narrative. Just like what we were taught. Naka aja aja, nebute ono mano. And it had never been heard that a man working so hard was poor. So, Emeka Mba, you're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Afia Radio and Television. While we're also waiting for directive from the men at the top, they have been able to redirect our program. We've done 1 and 2 and 3. Then 4 is what we are supposed to do, but want to get clarifications from them. But let me inform Lolo Igbo to be getting ready for her performance, because I am sure that will be the next thing they will ask us to do. Thank you very much. I've said if the DJ is around, he can give us musical interlude. While we are waiting for directive, let me welcome the coordinator, Enugu West Unity Forum, Honorable Chief Emeka Ude. I cited him minutes ago. So you're welcome, Chief Emeka Ude. Thank you very much. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you so much. Okay, if by what we have, poetry performance by Lolo Igbo, is she around? She is not. Shall our people know they're here? If we say musical interlude, we won't see them. Kilo happen. All right. Let me recognize Omada Ngbo Association. Their president is here with us, Dr. Ngozi Ezani. You are welcome, ma. Thank you very much. I've just been informed that His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, is around, and our directors are taking him around the exhibitions, and any moment from now, he will be here with us. Thank you very much.
May I recognize my boss when I was in active service? He's Ezudo Emmet Mbelo. He left Radio Nigeria as a director. He retired as Director Marketing, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Enugu National Station. OEC, you're welcome, sir.
And he's now a consultant, consulting for a lot of other radio stations. Before now, I've recognized Dr. Mrs. Chukwuogo Nkiru, Society for Women Accountants of Nigeria, chairperson of ICANN Oka District. You're welcome, ma. Thank you very much. Can we give you a round of applause? Then Mr. James O. Ukoha, SCA, General Secretary, ICANN, Oka, and District Society. You're welcome, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate.
Let me also recognize Okechukwu Okibe Esquire. I actually did say that Okechukwu Bonwane, my senior colleague of the blessed memory, Chijoke Okibe. Thank you very much.
Chijoke Okibe moved from broadcasting to legal practitioner, and he was very good at both of them, a broadcaster and a lawyer. The combination gives him something that some of us wants to be. Thank you so much, Okibe.
Omuada Ngwo. Are they performing? The president has been recognized, Dr. Ngozi Ezane. No.
Mrs. Annika Njideka Ifoma is sworn representative of ICANN Oka and District Society. She's here with us. You're welcome, ma. Thank you very much. When I was getting their names, I saw Swan. So the first thing that comes to my mind is from my immediate constituency, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria. And Dr. Anthony was so happy, and he had to shake my hand, and we made jokes over it. But today we'll have another SWAM, Society of Women Accountants of Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless you.
I think Mrs. Ifoma OTG used to be either the maiden chairperson or something of SWAN, if I'm correct. Or maybe she was. Enugu, yes. So actually what happened to you, when I saw SWAN initially, what came to my mind was this wonderful table water that we would drink. Swan water. So, and I said, what's the name? You're welcome. DJ, is it possible to give us something at the background?
While he's doing that, let me inform us that the Executive Director, West African Tourism Organization, is still here with us. Babam Mutum Sanudezua, Alhaji Hassan Zakari, Sanudezua Gasheka.
This is a purely Wazobia event, because when Jan's CEO spoke, she greeted us in Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, and she even added Tiv and the Bibi and everything. So if we call this gathering a Wazobia gathering, we will not be wrong.
I am sure Moxino Obiora Ike concur to what I said, that from next year, there will be a ban for him not to travel for at least another 2 years, so that some of us who are interested will be around to tap from his intellectual properties. growing up, this folk story that they told us about Eze and the Hedibeze. And Eze went away, and the Hedibeze was spoiling, you know. So, and the bird, the beautiful bird with melancholy voice, had to search for Eze and say, Eze ni Hedibeze maybe. Unamakesi akwe, back bene, back bene. Unwele nkemu, kele nkemu, back bene, back bene. Mosi na Hedibeze maybe. Back bene, back bene, thank you very much.
Fall back. Let's get them.
All of us.
Let's get them.
Very much.
Also, in as much.
Thank you.
Where's Bennett?
Very good. A lot of people.
Yes, sir. Please, I don't mind.
Wow.
I'll be this one because it's our company.
Remove your hand now.
Thank you.
And finally, I'm cooking class tomorrow. I'll be to Lantana College of Hospitality.
Lantana is
Lantana College of Hospitality.
Opus Dei.
Is it okay? Opens Day.
Yes.
Less sugar.
Less sugar.
No, I know.
This is cinnamon roll.
They always sell out.
This is meat pie and then the legs. No, this is beef. Beef fillet. Thank you.
This is going on in the shooting inside.
Yes.
Bro.
Have you gotten your focus?
Okay, he's a lawyer. Can they fit? Okay, Loretta, and you to Loretta, but enjoy. Let's enough. Let's enjoy. Let's get
Yes, let's go back. Yes.
I thought that you were not going to go back, so I've been overruled.
I'm not neighbor, remember? No more we attack. And that will be
Okay.
Thank you.
Four bucks more. Come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So what is the?
Sorry, excuse me. Oh, you see? Come on, stop. Going on this video right now.
Give me a sec.
Hey. Okay, let's check one more. I'm going to go again. That so much.
Iji kwa phone
Giru. That's again enough. Because let Oma have a picture. Because Oma. Yes. Oma is the lady that did all the beats and you know, man?
Please, let me get a photo.
Can we just move back and give them space? See, please, I want snap. Say you carry food, say, who will she back small?
People with phones. No, it's enough. Don't worry, it's a go. Give me a second. I'm enough. Bye, bye. The finance one.
Please shift back, sir. Excuse me.
Everybody move back.
Okay.
Move your hand now.
Okay.
Sir, please, can you go over there so that you get...
No, we can't have two guys. Choma, the other side. Okay. But it's Choma behind. No,
Mba. Now move
so
your
like
hand.
that. Choma behind. Okay. My head is exactly.
Go back.
Help focus.
Look back to your one.
Help focus.
Move your hand. Thank you, sir.
This is wonderful. Okay,
One more here.
Okay, hey, it's your
Come see, stay where you did. Maybe for our front, you good. Maybe teach one snap. Are the full body?
I didn't know it's
because
there.
no.
Let's go back, please. Everybody go back. Everybody fall back, please. Back so I can get a better picture.
Okay, give it up.
Let's go with your camera. See, if you look more, this your wig for you now. Thank you, sir. You said because the money is the book. Which person?
It's not fight.
They're in a fight. Which one?
Okay, can somebody test it?
Squeeze from the oranges we have there.
Who squeeze it? Can you try it? Because no. Because why no, it's okay. I'm a woman there. That's okay. That's okay.
So your head.
My friend.
Can you guys come back a bit?
No, face ever.
That's a lifetime opportunity.
To do what?
With the organizers of the National Association of Nigerian Travel.
Oh, no, I think some pictures can be done at the end. Oh, but people are waiting. People are waiting.
No, at the end.
Look at the cover.
Sorry, you are brought to me.
They're very silent.
Step back.
You can't imagine what you have done.
We would have wanted you to speak immediately, but we want you to settle down. People are still felicitating with you. I want to invite the man who will speak before you, and it's no other person than the former chairman who also did marvelously well at Hope Sports Club, the most vibrant governorship candidate in Anambra State during the last general election, the principal partner, Ben Etiaba and Kolo Chartered Accountant, Chief Ben Etiaba. Can you start off? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother, the moderator.
My prepared speech, I'll share it online so we can all get to see it and read it. Because I want His Excellency to be off in the next 30 minutes if possible. He's actually not well. He's well, he's strong, but you know we have malaria from time to time, living in this climate. So he's running a temperature. He's only here to oblige us. And I'm really grateful that he has made this trip. Because when I felt his body, the temperature was quite high. And he had to come because of the love he has for the organizers of this event. So my brief protocol is to recognize His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, a great man, a great Nigerian, a great African, a great citizen of the world, because when you get to a position in life where your name is recognized globally, there's nothing more, much more to achieve, and especially when that recognition is positive. A lot of what I do these days, a lot of the people that give me their time, that accept me to interact with them, is because they believe that I actually am close to His Excellency. And by him being here today, is actually making my stock to rise as well, because that's a confirmation that at least I know him. So, Your Excellency, you're most welcome. My most revered Monsignor Professor Obiora Ike, I don't want to say publicly what I think about you, but I'm sure you know this. I can't thank you enough for what you do for humanity. Let me put it this way, because you're a global citizen, and you've brought quite a lot of globalized worldview to this part of the world, to Enugu, to the southeast, and to Nigeria. I always appreciate you, sir. And also, being around you and knowing you, it makes me feel and look better than I am. Let me acknowledge other members of the Jan's Travel Business School Board, former director of Central Bank of Nigeria, Dame Oyibo Elizabeth Agu, MNI. Madam, you're welcome. My brother, Dr. Amobi Ifediora, member of the board. Welcome, sir. I saw Prof. Yes. Prof, who runs Slang Global, the Spanish language, is here. Sorry? Yes, she's here. I appreciate it. Always wanting to sit at the back. The CEO of Jan's Travel Business School, who has done quite a lot of work in the tourism sector. Choma, you can always count on my support. I'll always be there for you. And of course, your ever supportive husband, Val, architect Val, and the children. The CEO of our CNN, I'll say our CNN. When I say our CNN, I'm sure my brother Vin Martin won't be happy with me. Because Vin, if you know Vin, you'll know that he doesn't come second in anything he does. But let me recognize Emeka Mba as the CEO of our CNN. Emeka, I appreciate you, Dalu, for being here. And I will say Dalu to Emeka for many reasons. Afia TV, you know, what you guys do for the Southeast, immeasurable. Thank you. And I hope our businesses and our people will continue to support you to be in business. Because you're alongside Signature TV, I'll talk about Vin in a minute. Alongside Signature TV, you tell our story so well. And you've not relented. I'm grateful. Thank you for being here and making our time to be here. Vin Martin, Ebubedike Ndibo. Vin is my brother from a different mother. We go back a long way. Our paths crossed in many areas. You're most welcome, sir. He's the boss of Signature TV, former director of AIT. So this is a great event. Many VIPs here. I can't recognize everybody because I don't have a protocol list. And of course, my people from Oka, the ICANN delegation from Oka, the chairman of ICANN and district, Oka and District Society, and also the chairman of ICANN in the whole of the Southeast is here, all the way from all the chairperson of the SWAN, Society of Women Accountants of Nigeria, Oka and District with your team. You're most welcome. Associate Professor Chukwu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, like I said, my topic is actually structuring Nigeria's tourism economy, accountability, branding, and the business of culture. There's so much money to be made here, but I'm not going to read the speech. You will get to see it. If you want my number, you can have that. But if you have access, and I believe all of us have access to the travel school online platforms, you can get to see my speech. My job this morning is, or this afternoon is actually easier now, and that's nothing else but to introduce our keynote speaker. He's none other than Governor Peter Obi. He is a man that has led from the front at every level, both in the private sector, in the banking sector, in the government, and now in politics. His style is different. If you want to judge him the way you judge Nigerian politicians, you get it wrong. It's different, and that's why he appeals to people like me who acknowledge that difference and appreciate that difference and also notice that this is what Nigeria needs, that difference in thinking, because if you carry on doing the same thing the same way all the time, the result will be the same. And if you like the result you're getting, fine for you. But if you don't like it, you have to think of an alternative and of alternatives. This is not politics. We're not here for politics. We're here for culture. We're here for the business of tourism. We're here to talk about Nigeria, what we can do to encourage the operators in this sector, because not only are we able to change positively the GDP of this great country, the economy of this great country, through job creation, through employment, and in so many ways, the hospitality sector. And I'm also glad that Enugu is hosting this, coming off the back of a wonderful hosting of 20,000 lawyers, NBA, Nigeria Bar Association lawyers, in the last week. A great number of hotels in town, number of sites. It is now time, can we shut the music please? It's now time to listen to the great man that we're privileged enough to be here live to witness and to see, and I thank him because I may not get the opportunity to say thank you to him again. I thank him not just for coming, but for if you were out there to see what happened out there in the Market Square, of Fuobi Market Square, you will know that this is a man that walks his talk and leads by example. His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, you're please welcome to speak to us. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you, Adia Monsignor, and my own dear father in faith. Let me stand because all the people in front there are my friends, so let me say all protocols very respectfully and duly observed. Like my brother Ben has said, I told him it's unfortunate that if you've never been sick in your life and suddenly they tell you you're sick, you must stay one place. And I told them today I have to be in Enugu. He said, when I go to Enugu, let me go and look for a doctor in Enugu because Ben would have preferred me to come here, even with drip or anything, that said I'm not coming. But let me start by thanking you, the organizers of this event, and those who are working hard in the area of tourism in Nigeria. You know, whenever I say Nigeria is an unproductive country, the first thing people say to me is, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Whenever I shout that we must move the country from consumption to production, I talk about every area. No area in particular will you say the country is working. No area. Because if there is, you will see the difference and everything. Tourism, for example, can generate a lot of income for Nigeria. We have very interesting places to tour. Even we in Nigeria don't. I can tell you, the average Nigerian today, if he has the opportunity, wants to fly to Europe, wants to fly to America, where there's little or nothing to see, than go around Nigeria where we have a lot to see and appreciate. I told Ben an interesting story. That years back, I wore a normal local clothes. And I went to a shopping center in London with a friend of mine, Richard Bajakanu. And a white man saw me and said, "This looks lovely. It is fantastic. Where did you buy it?" I said, "It's from Nigeria." He said, oh, that's far away. I won't have that. But I said, maybe when I'm coming back again, if you give me your contact, I'll buy one for you. And he turned to me and said, "What if I buy this one you're wearing?" And I gave him a price that was over. I said, "Okay, yes, you can buy it. About £100. This is something I sold there for about less than £10. He said, "Yes, I'll wait here." So I just jumped into my car, drove to my house, changed it and brought it and made £100. We have all it takes. Comparable countries with Nigeria are making a fortune from tourism. Today, after they had BRICS country, you might not know, after the BRICS country were introduced, which was Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and then South Africa eventually, and other ones admitting, they tried to form what they call mint country. Those mint countries were Mexico, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Turkey. If you go along those countries that I mentioned today, the other three are making a fortune from tourism. Mexico is making a lot of revenue today from tourism. Indonesia, you know areas of Indonesia, Bali, everything, are making a fortune from tourism. Turkey. Of all these countries, the nearest one to us is Turkey. So I'm going to use Turkey to show you what is happening. Turkey today, in terms of land size, Turkey and Nigeria is only about 20%, about 20% bigger than Turkey. Turkey is about 783,000 just plus square kilometers. We are 923,000 thereabouts square kilometers. Turkey in 2024 made $61.something billion from tourism. That is far more that we make from oil and all other foreign revenues from tourism. Over 62 million people visit Turkey in 1 year. What are they offering? Whatever the offering we have, we don't even make 10% of what they make from tourism. We're not even making that. So imagine if I focus on local tourism and we're able to make a third of what they're making. That should be about $20 billion from tourism. And we have what it takes to do that. We have what it takes to do that. We have sites, good places to go, everything from the Mambila to everything to the case. We have so many places to go, which we're not doing, and everything. And I always say it, whenever we talk, people say, oh, maybe you're criticizing the government. I'm not criticizing any government. We cannot have a situation where we have leaders who will tell us every day they are going to holidays abroad. The Turkish president does not leave Turkey for holidays in another person's country. The American president doesn't travel out of America for holidays. Neither do other leaders in the world go outside their country for holidays. That is what we must institute. Those who say they are leaders, you are on holidays, on everything, are senators, are legislators, House of Rep members, House of Assembly members, instead of going to visit even their own constituency, they go abroad. It will not work. I have challenged last time. I said, what if the president decides to go and spend 1 week in Maiduguri? We used to have a very good lake there and a very good scenery. What if he decides to go to Taraba? We have the Mambila. What if he decides to go to Yankari? What if he decides the only way this thing can? What if he decides to go to Obudu? There's so many places we can go, but we're not going there. Everybody's excited about going to London, which, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not saying it's not good to go, but we need to develop domestic tourism. It is critical. It's a source, an immense source of revenue. These are the things that I keep saying that we should encourage, support, by making sure. I just shown you a country, what they make. But because we have oil money we're sharing, nobody here wants to be productive. Everybody just thinks every month, let's go and do this. I must thank those who are organizing this. I can thank the governor of Enugu State, who I can see is trying to put a few infrastructures that is trying to bring Enugu back. Why would somebody from Enugu, those of us from this part of the world, say, I'm going to Enugu for my holidays? I can tell you, to spend a week in Nikelekia is better than spend 2 months in most people are places people travel to. But there you go home and tell your people we are going to Enugu for our holidays. Nobody will be excited. It's true. If you go home now and say, oh, listen, everybody, we are going to Enugu for holidays, everybody will keep quiet. If we say we are going to London, everybody will jump up. Why? But for us to achieve that, there's a lot we need to do. We need to secure the country. It is critical. If you go, there's nothing. Kenya, most part of Africa, Mauritius and everything, live off tourism. They make a fortune in it. So it is important that we develop this sector aggressively. There's opportunity in this sector. We can use it to become one of those areas that will help us in building a better country. I just shown you a country less than our size. We have all it takes in terms of water, in terms of scenery. We have more than Turkey can boast of if we harness it, if we do the right things. I'm not targeting that we are going to start tomorrow and make what they are making, but we cannot continue the way we're going when we have this critical area. In Turkey, tourism is employing millions of people Because one of the places that, if it's working, millions of people will be employed. Your airports, your facilities. You might not know, most airports in in Nigeria, actually unprofitable. But imagine if we develop domestic tourism. You see 20 flights coming to Enugu every day. The hotels will be filled up. Things will be working because the effect of tourism is that it is something that is so, its contribution is so immeasurable. But I can tell you, as a big country like Nigeria, I don't think tourism contributes even 1% of our GDP. But go to other countries, you will see, like I said, I was talking about Turkey, contributes about between 7 and 10 to their GDP. They take it as a serious. Government focuses, in fact, they call it Project Future. Tourism is very important to them. And because of it, they are growing. And it's not oil. We are talking about a dimension asset called oil here. They're not talking, they called it Project Future. Countries, tiny countries like Singapore live off tourism, people visiting, services, everything. Because imagine what it is. Hotels will be filled up, people will be restaurants everywhere. If you go to small, tiny countries and see how people coming there for holidays, eating on the street, if you go to Mauritius, people are, so many things. And we have all that here. All we need is for government to focus on it. If governor says he's going to holidays, let him leave Enugu and go to Nsukka. It will work. All of us, not just it. By doing that, he will know what is happening around there. He will come, do it, serve them better, and everything. So my little contribution today is to say that domestic tourism can contribute immensely, one, to our GDP, immensely, to our growth, create jobs where we have huge unemployment, and lead to other things that we need to do. For those who are working hard in this aspect, I just wish you well. Mine is, how do I say it? I was just going around and seeing the wonderful works done with our people are doing and all that. And I assure you, as you do this, you can count me as a partner. It's one of those things I said in my manifesto that I'm going to deal with. In order for us to be productive. In Enugu here now, hotels are empty. People are not visiting. So you build a hotel, have a business that is not regularly being patronized. So we need to turn it around. And to turn it around is to support domestic tourism. To support our small businesses is to support domestic tourism. Because there are people who are doing lots of clothing, attire, all this and everything. The only thing that can make it work is tourism. And the world is looking for where to go. The number of tourists that came to Nigeria in 2024 is not up to 2 million. And I've just told you that another country has over 62 million. This is not first world, though, so you won't say it's America. You won't say it's Turkey. 62 million, over 62 million. Why can't Nigeria do 10% of that? Why can't we do a quarter of that? Why can't we do half of that? That's the lesson we need to learn. Because every day people are saying, oh, how are we going to stabilize our currency? You stabilize your currency by being productive. Because you export goods, you export services, you provide a conducive environment. Imagine if we had millions of people coming here for tourism. I told you now that they had over $61 billion in earning Turkey in 2024 from tourism. Imagine we've had 22 million people, each spending about $1,000. That's $20 billion. Your remittances, which is now going down, if things were okay, Nigerians living abroad would have remitted more. You're getting for remittances about 30, and you're getting for more days. It will be a different country. You won't be looking for foreign exchange. Because every visitor that comes here from abroad spends an average of $1,000. And that is why it must be encouraged. It must be supported and everything. Let me conclude by saying, I'm your partner in this. Again, I said it before. Rest assured you are doing the right thing. It is an area where we must focus. Let us make this country work. If it works for everybody. We must remove it from consumption to production. A new Nigeria is possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi. Can we give him a round of applause? From consumption to production, a new Nigeria is possible.
It's possible.
One thing that I want to say is that all of us in this hall can become ambassadors of this message. All of us in this hall, let us continue to remember Mr. Peter Obi in our prayers so that a new Nigeria will become possible. Your Excellency, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that wonderful speech. We all align with you. We shall take a breather now. We had invited her earlier, but we were told she was getting ready. But before she comes, may I recognize the presence of Society of Tourism Practitioners of Nigeria, Enugu. The chairman is Comrade Uchendo Chidi. He is here with his team of ESCO members. Please, let's clap for them. Society of Tourism Practitioners of Nigeria. And of course, I also saw a very distinguished professor who is looking remarkably different from others, because when you see him, you know him. Professor Ukemenam is here. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Chief Professor Ukemenam, you're welcome. If Lolibo, if you're ready, we are ready. We had invited you earlier, but we were told that you were getting ready. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Choice Amajoyi, a Nollywood actor, producer, and director. She's here to give us poetry performance. Lolo, we welcome you.
Loli Igbo na-ekene, mmiri doro edo na-ekene. Abụ m Nwada Amajoyi Onyeka Chukwu, eji Choice wee mara m n'ihe ejije. Akwa ndị Igbo kwuru okwu wee sị na ukwu m ọgọdọ adịrọ m igba ọtọ. Anụkwazi m na egbebere ugobere nke si igbe ebere nke kokwa ya. Maka nwanne nọ na ngige nọ n'egwu. nwanne nọ nọkwazi n'egwu. Igbo agbụrụ ọma Chukwu kere site n'ọwụwa anyanwụ. Igbo ekwe na-akụ, ọja na-egbu. Igbo ga-adị, Igbo ga-adịrịrị, maka na Igbo bụ dachi. Igbo nwere mmadụ. Igbo agwa mkpamkpa unu gbara ka na-agba ndị iro unu gharị, maka na ebe ọbụla Igbo bata, obodo ahụ na-achake. Ebe ọbụla Igbo bata, ebe ahụ adị mma. Igbo akwa unu kwenyere na igwe bụ ike. Igbo unu bụ eze afọ juru ama na mgbe mbụ. Igbo agwa gị si na nwa eze adị efu na mba, keji isi nwa dibịa ene mgbọrọgwụ. Mba, mmiri adị eri ọba, maka na iyi na ọba bụ nwanne. Igbo gosi m agbọghọbịa mara mma dịka agbọghọbịa gị, gosi m okorobịa mara mma dịka okorobịa gị. Afọ dimkpa, afọ ogologo ime ya. Igbo nwere odogwu. Igbo akwa enwe mere nwaada Chioma Obi ji ekpokọ anyị n'ụbọchị taa ka anyị mee ka be anyị maa mma, ka ihe anyị na-achọ aga na mba ọzọ ka a chọrọ ya na-abịa ebe a. Akwa na ya. Igbo akwa gị si na nwa eze adị efu na mba, mana n'elu taa ụmụ gị na-akpagharị na mba dị iche iche. Na mgbe mbụ nne na-eji anya agwa nwa ya ụka, mana ugbu a nne na-ene nwa, nwa na-ene nne. Anyị agbaọla asụsụ anyị ashị, kpọọ njirimara anyị ashị. Igbo akwa si na onye kpọọ ọbịa ya mkpakara, agbata obi ejiri ya mee gịnị? Kpọọ ahịhịa. Igbo Igbo tata nọ n'ụra. Anyị aganụ na mmiri were asụ na-akwa aka, ka anyị aganụ n'osimiri ncha na-abaghị anya. Ka njọ unu. Igbo kpọọ unu ụmụ unu n'oke olu ka ha lọghachite, ka izu a gbara n'ụlọ ghara ịpụ n'ama. Ọgwụ ka ọ na m n'ọnụ. Igbo Igbo mgbasị ntaka ịchọ ọnụ n'Owere nchi.
Thank you very much, Lala Igbo. I like the combination of the adage that she used. Your Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, while living here, be rest assured that you have the support of all of us right inside this hall. We also, let us assure you of our prayers. We will continue to pray for you. We must move this nation from consumption to production. A new Nigeria is possible. Your Excellency, all we needed from you is summarized in Igbo adage. Ojebe jebe kaleze, onawa ya kaleze. Your Excellency, whenever you pitch your tent with any political association, let us know. And whenever you intend to, let the world know that you are going to contest in what we used to call media chat. We will all be there waiting. Your Excellency, do not be deterred by what we will call political brazana. I'm sure my friend Zachary understands this better. We are there for you, unshakably. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi. While we were being entertained by the poet or the poetry of Adibo, some prominent Nigerians, which we recognize in due course, walked in. First is Rotarian Sir Chibuzo Asobwa, District Governor-elect, Rotary Club International, District 9142. Sir, you're welcome. And the General Manager, Solid FM, you say the MC. You're welcome. Thank you so much. An old boy of National Grammar School, Nike, of which is one of the identities of National Grammar School, Nike. Elder Barrister Ndukwe Bujas, you are welcome. Each time I look at you, I remember fighting at Ubo Pute at Nagram campus. Thank you so much. Also, thank you so much. We will be having musical to enable our directors and special invitees who went to see off the former governor of Anambra State, Obun Afabatasia, we shall proceed. Now that Director of Jans is here, Madam, we can't thank you enough. You are changing the narrative of tourism in Enugu State and in the entire Southeast. Keep it up. God bless you. Rotarians at Chibos Asobwa have recognized you before now. Thank you for being here for us. God bless you. Thank you so much.
We have here in our midst Mr. Ebiloma Shaibu. I hope I got the name correctly. Zonal Coordinator, NTDA, Enugu Zone. We welcome you. We welcome you. And then there are also other members of NTDA here with you, with Mr. Ebiloma Shaibu, the Zonal Director. Please, can we give him a round of applause? Take a bow, sir. We can't really see you, but then if you stand up, we'll appreciate. Oh, okay. Okay, Mr. Ebiloma Shaibu, you're welcome. You are the Zonal Coordinator of the NTDA Enugu Zone. You are Gabriel Oma is the moderator.
He's already, I've seen him in the house.
He's ready.
I've also seen Alhaji Hassan Zakari is already here, he has been here with us. I've seen Mrs. Chelo Che Anigo, she's here. I've seen Rotarian Chibozo Asogwa, the district governor elect is here. Dr. Chedinma Ogo Amana. I've not seen her, but she's here. She can give us a word. Okay. Mr. Chibomefu Omoke Wansidi, I have not seen him, but I'm sure he's going to be here with us. And then Mr. Bifani Iboko, I think he's here. Dr. Bernard, please, if you're hearing what we're saying, we want those of you who went out to come in immediately so that they will continue with the programs of the day. Bikondi no ni roje do pupita obi batabaziano no ka inwe ike ina-achi azụ mebe ihe ndị ọzọ fọrọ afọ. Anyị kenekwe anyị ekenekwasị n'ụzọ pụrụ iche ofu onye Igbo ji eme ọnụ, ofu onye ndị ụka Katọlik ji eje mba, the founder of Nwanne Dị na Mba Estate, the founder of SIJAP, the founder of Obi African Center, ebe anyị nọ kịta, the founder of Ụmụ Chinemere Pro Credit Microfinance Bank, the founder of Ọrụaka Dị Mkpa. Amaromo ngokatazia amaromo ebe ebido. Very Reverend Father Professor Moxino Dr. Obiora Ike. The first time that I came to Ofuobi African Center, I was so happy. I was so happy. That was when Professor Obiora Ike did his 32 years of teaching at Skoraren. Because Ben Aboni no Sondani no ni Lobatan Batabazea Nubiko Emana Pito Bibo Batonsu Oji Hana Ona Faru Ichimanata. But anyone I may give it myself, Yana family, if I do so they will be distracted. But any people on with the CVR, that is continuous voter registration, or drop in pressing. Lagos State is hitting 700,000. I am sure before the end of this week, Kano is hitting about 500,000. Enugu is yet to get 2,000. Imo is yet to get 1,500. And these are the determinant factor. You cannot give out what you don't have. If Rokape Obibi Makatoki or so, he cannot be president if we don't encourage our people to get their voters card. Though Ben Etiaba said we are not here for politics. But if we are not here for politics, politics is here for us. As Amanagechi. So, I think at this point, I want to invite the next speaker, a woman of substance, a very powerful business administrator. She is a member of National Institute, MNI. She held leadership position as Deputy Mentor General She is the former director of Central Bank of Nigeria and pioneer branch controller, Central Bank of Nigeria, Asaba, Delta State. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to invite Dame Elizabeth Onyibo Ago to step forward to make her presentation. Can we give her a round of applause? Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Thank you all. You know, Ekenemu dejen wo. Actually ni gwebike. Abu madam go. I went burial today. Man when shilu munem na maka bi eku oku maka tourism. I may tourism jado in Enugu State. A sendo representative. Can I just be a different? Don't worry. I need me waste time. No mena.
Maka Enugu amaka tourism amaka anyị nwere obodo ọzọ. Nigeria amaka Enugu amaka culture amaka anyị nwere obodo ọzọ. Gbagọtanụ n'igwe ka anyị dozie obodo anyị o. Tourism amaka anyị nwere obodo ọzọ. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ekenemu darling. You know, we have been speaking about tourism. Talk. But how do we translate it into a balance sheet? That's why I'm here. It is my honor. And first of all, let me stand on all existing protocols. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow colleagues, the Honorable, most distinguished Monsignor. You know, there's one thing that was missing from his CV. I lived in Abuja for over 30 years. And I had a lot of Muslim friends. And one of them told me that there's a Monsignor that has read the whole Quran. Am I wrong? And he said, it's Monsignor Obi Oraike. I said, my brother read the whole Quran, and I'm not even aware. You're telling me here in Abuja. So add that to all the exploits he has done. My respect, sir. Thank you. Well, it is my honor to stand before you all at this domestic tourism conference here in Enugu, the very heart of a region where culture is not only lived, but celebrated. I wish to thank the organizers for bringing us together at such a time as this to reflect on a truth that is both ancient and urgent, that culture is not merely who we are, but also what we can become. The title of my paper is From Culture to Capital, Unlocking Economic Value from Nigerian Traditions. In Nigeria, when we speak of culture, our minds often go to our dances, our festivals, our food, all those crafts outside, and our attire. But culture is more than spectacle. Culture, when properly harnessed, is money. It is an asset. It is wealth waiting to be unlocked. Let us start from global perspective. I'm so happy someone is been mentioned already. The people that spoke before me has already wet the ground. Now let us look at India. I am a 200-hour teacher training yoga instructor as I stand here. And I went to India for that. And guess what? When you get to India, they now give you an American certificate. India has an $80 billion business in yoga. India is so good with yoga that Americans come there to get certified. And then an American company reached out to them, where you now go to India and get certified in American yoga. That is money. Let us look at Mexico. Mexico made its Day of the Dead festival not just a remembrance, but a multi-billion-dollar tourism. If others can do it, Nigeria can too. You know, when people talk about insecurity, I said, listen, there's insecurity even in Israel, all over. We can even start small. Wherever it can be done. Look at NBA, the Nigerian Bar Association last week. All the hotels, my sister is a lawyer and stayed with me. Some of our friends were in Ozala because all the hotels in Enugu were fully booked. And guess what? They still say there's kidnapping in Enugu and all that. What I'm saying is that it doesn't even have to be perfect. We can even start now. Already we have seen the rise of Nollywood, Afrobeat, and Nigerian fashion on the global stage. But beneath all these shining stars lies a galaxy of untapped potential. Our heritage festivals, our local cuisines, our rural crafts, and our cultural expressions remain hidden treasures. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, each with unique traditions. The Argungu Fishing Festival in Kebbi is not only about fishing, it is about hospitality. It is tourism, agriculture, and the spirit of community. The Odo Festival in Enugu attracts both local and tourists every 2 years. Imagine if its global branding will become like the African Mardi Gras in Louisiana. The Calabar Carnival is all known. And then there is our food. You know, food is part of culture. The Nigerian cuisine is a story on its own. Suya, jollof rice. You know the controversy between our jollof rice and that of Ghana. We can turn it into a festival where we invite Ghanaians here, invite Africans, and then we can compete on whose jollof rice is better. And hotels will be booked. Our local our local chefs will be employed, and so on and so forth. People travel to Italy just to taste their pasta. France for wine. I've been to Thailand personally and tasted their street food. Why not Nigeria? Why not Enugu? People can come here for our okpa and abacha. A food festival. Can you imagine a food festival in Enugu that revolves around our local cuisine, that we blend heritage with experience, a celebration of our identity as a people, and on a plate, where okpa, abacha, oha soup, nkwobi, roasted yam and palm oil, and our famous palm wine they are not just being eaten, but curated as cultural stories. We can have elderly people by the side telling us how the story of how okpa started, the way you wrap it. I know the Abo people, they use broomsticks to wrap okpa. If you eat the okpa from that side, we can have one elderly woman there telling us these stories. It is not just food. We can create these experiences. And people in diaspora can come home just for that. By curating these dishes in a structured festival, I don't know how many of you are aware of GT Bank. GT Bank Food and Festival right there in Lagos. It attracts people from all over the world. We can have it right here in Enugu. Guess what? With all these things, with Nollywood and stuff, Nigeria, we are just scratching the surface. We need to do more. The question is, how do we move culture from the stage to the balance sheet? That was the first question I asked. The answer is what? Finance. Culture becomes capital when it is financed, structured, and scaled. A festival is not just entertainment, it's a value chain. From the hotels that people will come stay in, from logistics, even our keke here, transporting people, our boat transporting people. That is how you translate culture to capital. Our digital promotions, the souvenirs you see outside, any country I go, I buy that fridge magnet. As I'm paying, I know that is money for that country. Imagine if we had fridge magnets that show the coal miners, that show a lot of the things Enugu is known for, and when people come here, they buy it and take it home. But none of this happens without access to finance, without the inclusion, without the infrastructure. Our artisans, our rural women, our youth with creative energy, they need tools, they need funding, and they need a framework to take off. You cannot talk about entrepreneurship and culture without the mention of women. The role of women is very key. Women are the custodians of food, they are the custodians of textiles, our crafts, and our heritage. The woman who stirs the pot of onugbo soup, the woman who weaves akwete, the woman who sells okpa at Okpara Square, these are not just homemakers, they're entrepreneurs in disguise. Yet, many remain locked out of the formal finance. They rely on daily contributions and informal lending. Imagine what will happen if the banking sector tailored products, financial products for just these women. These products will be low-interest loans, digital savings, and cooperatives backed by guarantees. Empowering women in a culture is not charity. It is smart economics. When you empower a woman, you empower a family, a community, and the nation. Now, if we are going to be able to do this, we need policy makers. Culture cannot thrive in isolation. It requires policy support and a banking framework that understands creativity. Policy makers must provide tax incentives for creative startups, invest in cultural infrastructure. Look at this Ofuebi. Imagine if we can bring it. Just look at this field decoration we did here. The place is looking so inviting. This is what capital can do. Governments can actually collaborate with them and scale up this place. Banks must see artisans and cultural entrepreneurs not as risks, but as opportunities. The Central Bank of Nigeria has taken steps through the Creative Industry Financing Initiative, through intervention in MSMEs, but more can be done to tailor products for festivals, women cooperatives, and craft clusters. The importance of technology is a discussion for another day. Rural Nigeria can also power cultural tourism, festivals. Urban Nigeria can also drive fashion, film, and music. Together, they can all do this. Imagine an Igbo cultural route from Arochukwu to Nsukka to Onitsha. Imagine that. Curated as a tourism experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call for action. Our culture is not a burden of the past. It is a bridge to the future. It is capital waiting for investment. We must reframe culture, not only as heritage to be preserved, but as an enterprise to be scaled. Concluding, there's an Igbo proverb that said, "Aneshi na anama, webiawa na anandamad." What is sacred is made useful in the land of the living. Our traditions are sacred, but they are also useful. If we unlock them, they can feed us, they can clothe us, they can employ us, and they can enrich us. Let us move from culture to capital, from heritage to prosperity, from tradition to transformation. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dame Elizabeth Onyibo Ago. Can we give her a resounding round of applause, please? Thank you so much. We can bring our culture to balance sheet. Our culture is a capital waiting for investment. Thank you so much. Thank you. You have indeed energized our investment IQ towards a lot of things. Bringing a woman from Abo, from Omana and Diago, to prepare Oba or Achicha. And when we are enjoying it, she'll be telling us a beautiful story of how they came about making Oba and Achicha. Thank you so much. And indeed, very wonderful thing, because within the time you're eating this Oba, Abobo Achicha, and an elderly woman is sitting by the side, telling you how delicious it is and how they came about it. That restaurant, I can bet you, will be one of the best, not just in Enugu, but in Southeast Nigeria. Those of you who are here to invest, take note. Thank you very much, Dame Elizabeth Onyibo-Agu. Thank you. Before we move on to the panelists, we're going to take musical entertainment from Adanta. But we're going to take brief speeches, 2 minutes, from the following people that I'm going to call. But before I do that, let me welcome in a very special way the Chief Executive of Lead Consult, Chief Ephraim Okenwa, or rather Chupoma Ephraim Okenwa, the CEO himself. Welcome and God bless you. We appreciate. Thank you so much. The first person that I want to invite to take out 2 minutes to talk to us is Dr. Ayo Adowemi, Director of Arts Department, the Foremost Institute of Management and Technology, IMT, Enugu. So where are you? Can we give him a round of applause as he steps to the microphone? Thank you so much. IMT is ours. It's pride of the Southeast, pride of Ndibo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One sign on, and I want to acknowledge all other protocols. I want to thank you for Jans for organizing this particular event. I'm here as the Dean of Art School in IMT. We have been building currently a sculpture park, which we consider the biggest in Nigeria. I'd like to just give a little background. In the 1980s, Emeka Omerua was the governor of Enugu State, and he started placing sculptural pieces in major roundabouts. And that kick-started the concept of public space art in Nigeria. We still have some of those sculptures in places within the city. Unfortunately, we noticed lately that some of them are disappearing. For instance, there's one that is very significant at the Government House roundabout, titled On the Rock of Liberation, which was there to announce the independence, traveling through the Independence Avenue to Government House. But we noticed that currently the work is not in place, rather an architectural piece. We need to educate our politicians and government appointees to know that when an artwork is in public space, it becomes public property, not just to the government. Most people in the society are attached emotionally to those works. And when you displace the work, you displace something from our hearts. Sadly, we can't replace some of this work because they were created about 40-something years ago. And in an economy where you want to encourage tourism, the age of the artifacts and artworks you have are very significant. Just to know that. But primarily in IMT, the concept of placing sculpture pieces in public spaces began in IMT. But we have been able to now put together what we call the sculpture park with over 150 sculpture pieces that are labeled, and we are developing the space so that it can become a tourist attraction. Fortunately, we are at the city center. If you have a function at the ICC, IMT is just 3 minutes away from there. So we want to encourage that. But also, in addition to let us realize the importance of visual arts as a tangible art for tourism, we also have in Enugu something that is significant, and that is the Life in My City Art Festival, which we organize annually since 2000. This year we mark the 19 years of annual Festival of Life in My City, which targets bringing to Enugu annually visual artists from all over the country. We have an application of 750 entries this year. And the intent is these 750 artists are looking forward to coming to Enugu for the grand finale. So I believe that we have to micromanage tourism, if you are talking of domestic tourism. That is, whatever you are doing in your environment, make sure you manage it well, and we can now put them together for the macro tourism effect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayo Adewemi, Babeba, Oshego. May I invite Chinenye Orabu. She is the chairperson, Travel, Tourism and Hospitality Committee of Nigerian Bar Association. Barrister Chinenye Orabu. Can we give her a round of applause as she takes us 2 minutes? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. So, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and professionals, our gracious hosts, Jan's Travel Business School, ladies and gentlemen, I stand on existing protocol. I'm the chairperson of the Travel, Tourism, and Hospitality Committee of the Nigerian Bar Association section on business law. And on behalf of the committee, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Jan's Travel Business School for organizing this event and for creating a vital platform to explore the immense potential of domestic tourism in Nigeria. This conference is a call to action to innovate, to collaborate, and to advocate for policies and practices that will transform our domestic landscape in Nigeria. A bit about our committee. The TTH committee, as we call it, plays a pivotal role in advancing the interests and development of the travel, tourism, and hospitality sectors in Nigeria. Through its many initiatives, engagement with stakeholders like we are doing, and commitment to legal excellence, the committee aims to make significant contributions to the sector's growth and sustainability. And as part of our objectives, we disseminate information, we organize conferences, roundtables. And in my tenure, during my tenure as chairman, we have organized a number of roundtables and excursions. And this has made a lot of impact in all the places we have gone to. Our first excursion was in Abeokuta, October 2024. And we had a grand welcome from the governor. They hosted us, gave us buses, security detail, and all that. And the Commissioner of Tourism personally took us around the tourist sites and even waived our tourist fees. The fact is that we were able to bring forth and show people that, see, these things exist. And during the roundtable, because for us it's not just about excursions, we have a roundtable where we discuss. We brought out a lot of things, and the commissioner was there. We told him, look at Olumo Rock, the elevator is not working, this is not going on well. And the commissioner said they are working on it. Lo and behold, I don't know if you guys have seen the new revamped Olumo Rock. Beautiful. And so sometimes when we see things like this, it gives us hope that we're not just here sitting down and we are talking, that things are happening. Same thing, we went to Ibadan this year. And we spoke with the government, we engaged. The Commissioner of Tourism took us from site to site, BOAS towers, everywhere. the art gallery. I was telling us the stories. He was like the tourist guide for us. And we learned a lot. We contributed our own quota. During the roundtable, we had eminent experts come and speak about how tourism can be, done better in Nigeria. And we also went to Badagry. Now, we had the Nigeria Bar Association conference in Enugu. I'm sure most of you know about it. And I said to myself, I'm coming home. Because I'm based in Lagos, we have been doing this in Lagos. I'm coming home, what can we do? And I got in touch with the government. And I spoke to the Commissioner for Tourism, Dame Ugochi Madueke, excellent commissioner. If you see her response, because I told her, I'm coming home, so I expect a lot. In fact, she exceeded our expectations. She said, well, okay, what do you want to do? This, don't worry. We'll provide the buses. We'll bring the security. We'll provide the food. We'll bring the organic, everything done by the government. And I said, this is the kind of political will. This is the kind of reception that the government needs to give people in order for tourism to grow. Because all these things we are saying, it's just not enough to say them. You need to have a government that is willing to do these things. Are we going to bring our own 1 naira, 2 naira to build these things? You have to have the political will, which is what Enugu State government is demonstrating, and it's excellent. Before I leave, I just want to point out 1 or 2 things. When we talk about tourism, we ourselves, need to start with us. For example, do we wear more of African clothes? Do we play African music? When we're having our conferences, I tell the DJ, you cannot play anything except African music. We need to push these things out. It's already popular there, and then we're here playing foreign music. Nobody says we shouldn't play it, but we should be very intentional about promoting ourselves. That intentionality sometimes is what is lacking in Nigeria. Look at these ladies, Chioma Akpota and her 3 friends. What happened? Dubai got them together because everybody loves them, and told them to go to Dubai, sponsored everything. They put it on their social media pages. People love their friendship. People now saw they were in Dubai, all these other places. Do we know the amount of touristic activity that came from doing that? Why can't we? Why can't the government use our own influencers? Lastly, I went to South Africa. As I landed at the airport, I just saw a very big banner, visit Robben Island. Throughout my I went for a conference. Throughout my stay, I said I must go to Robben Island. I fought it because there were even no tickets to show you how it was very sought after. Finally got it, I went there, I was very happy. What happens to Nigeria? Why can't we have these adverts in our airports, in Enugu airports? Why can't we have some of these adverts? Visit and go, visit our home. Once you do that, you're bringing tourism in the consciousness of people. So when we're talking about tourism for the future, is every one of us. Let us keep having these ideas, bringing these ideas to the government. And since we have a working government, we just keep praying that they keep doing more. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I had wanted to raise a preliminary objection, but looking at her legal standing, I said, my Lord will not sustain the objection. Thank you very much. Can we give her a round of applause? We need to be intentional about promoting our own. Before my colleague recognizes and bring another person to make a speech, I want to recognize sculptor Sunday Chukwu. I think he has just stepped out. Sculptor Sunday Chukwu is doing something very unimaginable. He is the person that constructed this very wonderful chairs that we're going to use for the panelists. He is also the man who did the Jere Masquerade at Ono Osata. Sunday Chukwu, thank you very much. God bless you. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you.
Oh, okay. Sunday is here. You said he stepped out. He's here. Please, another round of applause for the guy who now tells us that Ijele is here. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I invite to talk to us just for 2 minutes, Prof. Prof, they said it's 2 minutes. I'm inviting Professor Joe, who came in. When we introduced him earlier, we didn't tell you who exactly he is. He is the Executive Chairman, United Kingdom, African Arts and Culture, at the Olympics Village, Stratford, London. He is also Professor of Criminology, United Nations African Development Expert. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Joe Ukemenam. 2 minutes.
I'm told it's 2 minutes, but my watch is still set on the previous time. So if I'm wrong, pardon me. One more apology I need to make is that I hear standing on existing protocols, but nobody actually told me what the protocols are. So I'm going to manufacture mine. Ladies, gentlemen, and those who are not sure. Now I'm restricted to 2 minutes, and I think that is actually more than enough because I wasn't billed to speak on this conference. I was only informed about this wonderful event taken up today. I was informed 2 days ago, but it was too tempting for me to stay away from. But what I would say here is to add value to what you have heard so far today, because you've got experts who have actually delved into the nitty-gritties of the arts and culture and have told you and educated you and instructed you to set out through that front door and go and do the doing. Now, in adding value to it, I'm in the process of hosting all African arts and culture in London at the Olympics Stadium. The Olympics Stadium takes about 480,000 people. It is the venue for West Ham Football Club. So this is where this event is going to take place by April, May of next month. And I think it will be a good thing to have Enugu Arts and Culture present there. I do not know who amongst you is going to bear the cart, but whoever is going to bear the cart, lead the delegation, should step forward and take this as a direct invitation from me, the chief executive of the event. And I would like to see Enugu specifically showcasing our talents, because other African countries are going to be there in their full elements. So I think my 2 minutes is about taken, and I am not here to tell you anything about arts and culture, which you have already heard. But I just need to point out to you that in 2017, I hosted the first Igbo Archaeological Conference here in Enugu, and about 19 academic papers were produced in that conference.
Thank you very much, Professor Ukemenam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you very much. Thank you. Before I invite the panelists, we want to have a musical entertainment from Adanta Cultural Troupe. Adanta, are you ready? Adanta, are you ready for us? Do you have anything for us?
May I also acknowledge the presence of Fit Healthcare. Fit Healthcare, it's good that you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, man. While we are getting ready for Adanta, I want to begin to invite the panelists so that they will be positioning themselves. May I first invite the Executive Director, West African Tourism Organization, WATO, Alhaji Hassan Abdullahi Zakari, to step on. Can we give him a round of applause? Let me also invite The Executive Director, Lead Network Africa, Mr. Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa, to step forward. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you. Let me also invite Mrs. Cheluchi Anibo, Artistic Director, Adanta Cultural Troupe. Adanta, we don't have all the time in the world. Let me also invite Rotarian Sir Chinedu Asogwa, District Governor-elect, Rotary International District 9142. Chibos Asogwa, beg your pardon, KSJI. Can we give him a round of applause? Let me also invite another young man who is doing very wonderful well for our people, the Director of Center for Memories, Enugu, Mr. Ifai Iboko. Can we give him a round of applause? Where is Ifani? Yes. The man who is going to be the moderator list is no other than the General Manager, Solid FM, Enugu, is the panel moderator, Omar Uche Gabriel. You'll see the MC. Thank you very much. Adanta, your time remains 2 minutes. Thank you very much. You see, you need to take this my position. We had wanted to get you a seat, but you can see the space didn't permit that.
All right, without wasting time, sometimes you hear so much.
The ones you got in earlier starts disappearing. So we'll try to make it as quick as possible. If you've enjoyed the conference so far, I'd like you to put your hands together for those who organized it. All right, I've been asked to anchor a very important panel, and is on the theme Tourism in Our DNA, Youth Innovation, and the Future of Nigerian Culture. And I'd like you to please sit down and listen attentively, not just because this is a conversation, but because of the quality of the people on the panel. And if you are a tourism enthusiast, and by the way, the value chain in tourism is expanding, and if it is something you want to invest in, you better pay attention. Quickly, of course, let me refresh your memory. The dance may have wiped away the names of the people here. Cheryl is the artistic director at Adanta TV, Culture and Creative Industry Perspective. You're welcome to the panel. If you want to clap, clap like I'm not forcing you to. And of course, we also have on the panel Dr. Oguamanam, Head of Department Tourism and Hospitality, UNN, and not here. Okay. Of course, these are the ones, I know them very well. It's my pleasure to introduce CEO, who has become a global citizen. I don't know why he's still in Enugu, maybe for the love of his place. Chukwuma Ifrem Okenwa is a social entrepreneur, a consultant, and a diplomat. He focuses on youth leadership and sustainable development. If you love him, let's give him a round of applause. Okay, when we leave here, we'll be going somewhere very close to this place for another event that has a lot to do with culture and tourism too. It's my pleasure to welcome a young man who is doing very well, who is the director, Center for Memories, Enugu. Good to have you. Ihani Iboku, good to have you. And the Rotary District Governor-elect is also here, District 9142. Community impact and values-driven and leadership perspective. Rotarian Chibuzo Asogwa, good to have you. And then I also have someone who has a wealth of experience and who will be sharing a lot of them with us today. I'm talking about the Executive Director, West Africa Tourism Organization, Mr. Hassan Zakari. Good to have you. I don't like your applause. It's sounding like I'm forcing you. Okay. If you look at the topic, you will see with me that it has something to do with youths as ambassadors. Our young people are already shaping how Nigeria is seen through music, through our fashion, through film, and through digital culture. The next word you see is innovation in tourism. Technology and creativity are making our cultural treasures more visible and accessible. And then the third word you see is the future of Nigerian culture, preserving tradition while reimagining it for today. And I was in Abuja over the weekend from Monday till Wednesday, and Enugu is on the lips of everybody, probably because of the NBA conference, but everybody you meet. And during the last gaming conference, something happened. I met a man. If he was an Enugu person, probably a politician, I will say, well, I'll take whatever he's saying with a pinch of salt. But I was talking with somebody who lives in Lagos and who plays big, he travels abroad. And he says each time they talk about investment in the south, in the southeast, Enugu keeps popping up. So something is happening, and we're happy we are in the ecosystem. So I'm going to start with the only lady on the panel.
Incidentally, you're a cultural ambassador. So let me start with it. Does she have a mic, please? How can dance and performance arts be better leveraged on, to promote Nigeria's cultural tourism to both local and diaspora audiences?
Thank you so much, and welcome to everyone here. The main purpose of cultural tourism is to experience and learn the offerings, the cultural offerings of a particular destination. And then we'll have the local tourists, which are people living here locally. Those local tourists, they see cultural tourism as they want to embrace what is theirs. This is our thing. It is the ideology of Nka Bunkai. So they want to promote, they want to preserve what is ours. And when you check the diasporans, this brings out, they want to be part of their tradition. They want to, it gives them the sense of belonging. This is who we are, we want to be fully part of this. And Adanta, as a performing arts group, has been at the forefront of creating these experiences for the audiences through our unique dances. And the moment people in this sector start seeing dance or performing arts, not just as entertainment, but looking into the messages we pass, from the body movement to the local songs to the costumes, we pass a message of unity. We have our dance performances that we infuse our locally songs, trying to bring them to the international standard. And through this, we pass our message. So yes, engaging cultural dances or other forms of performing arts into a conference like this is an excellent leverage to promoting cultural tourism. Thank you.
Is there any way you are ensuring that cultural visibility? Do people have to come to Enugu to see what you're doing? So are you adopting any form of technology in making what you're doing more visible?
Yes. We use social media. Our social media platforms, of course, is a medium we use to show the global audience what we do. You don't need to come to Enugu. We had one of the festivals held here in Enugu. Adanta performed there. We had our leg dance performance, and it trended more in the diaspora more than it did here. So we have this social media platform as a medium to get to the diasporan audiences. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. I would like to, please bring it down, please. Let me move to Chukuma Ephraim Okenwa. And of course, your focus is youth leadership, advocacy, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. As someone working with youths across sectors, what practical steps do you think can be taken to better position tourism as a viable career path for young Nigerians?
So I think first and foremost would be to recommend that, since at the moment tourism is already like a course, it's an option at the secondary level. At the secondary level. There's actually a course called tourism, because somewhere around last 7 years, the federal government introduced 34 trade courses, trade/entrepreneurship courses, for which tourism.
And they're being offered in secondary schools?
Yes, yes. But then you are just expected to choose only one.
Just one?
Yes.
Out of the 34?
Out of the 34. It's compulsory. But where the problem is, investing more into those that can give that knowledge to young persons.
Okay.
Because what schools just do is look at those courses and where they can find instructors on those areas. And I can tell you creditably well, having been on the education board that manages 296 schools, right? And the state then PPSMB, that there is that lacuna there.
Of manpower.
Yes, of manpower. So one of the ways we can do that is because catching them early, right? through teaching, incorporating it into the curriculum, which is already there, but then how many people offer tourism? Secondly, also is that in the federal government's effort to get young persons to think entrepreneurship, like I know most universities in Nigeria now at 300 level offer entrepreneurship courses, but largely it's just focused on writing proposals. There's no much diversity or even exposing them to opportunities, right? It's still very much theoretical. So I think that some of these, which is very strategic, making young persons to be proud of their country, because apart from boosting economy and whatever, tourism can boost, pride. It can boost, that patriotism. And when you are patriotic, that means that when you travel out, as much as you're excited to have people, right, to visit other people's areas, right, you will make them excited to come to your own place, to know where you are coming from, right?
Okay, let me follow up. Recently you held a peace building summit. So I'd like to know, do you think that tourism could be a tool in peace building, youth inclusion, and civic innovation in volatile or underserved communities?
Certainly, before this, like the MBA conference, those of them that come around, there were a lot of concerns of young Nigerians. Oh, Southeast, and they sit at home. I don't know how many of us that had their concerns the Monday. Many of them actually had a picture of a shut down zone that is deserted, only to come and feel the reality itself. I remember recently hosting a diplomat and a wife from the United States of America in Enugu. Before he came, when he inquired from the U.S. Department of State, he was told that Enugu is on level 4. If you know about the U.S. ratings, right? Level 4 means do not visit. Do not visit. Right? Okay. You have level 3, consider visit. And then just level 1 is exercise, the normal caution, right? And then you advise, all of those things, but level 4 means red alert, do not visit. Right? With all of the stories. And I told him, I said, sir, Enugu is safer than most places I know in the U.S. I said, you'll be happy. And when he came, he actually discovered that these were pictures in the mind. So one of the things that tourism does in terms of promoting peace, it confronts stereotypes. Some things you've actually had a lot of around people. It really surprised you to know when you travel for NYSC, which is also like a very strategic effort. And people meet you and say, in the community where I served, in Ibira community, it was the word they use in referring to Igbos, or Rioza, meaning human eater, right? Such kind of opportunity gave opportunity now, to reintroduce the Igbo nature, the identity. And before at least I've hosted up to 2 of my students in Enugu. They came to find out that what we eat here is Nkwobi and not humans. So that's one of the things tourism can do, right? And by so doing, promote peace.
All right, pass the mic to your left, Rotarian Chibuzo Asagwa. If you want to clap, if you're tempted to clap, succumb to the temptation. Okay, let me start by congratulating you. As a Rotary District Governor-elect, District 9142. It's not easy. If you don't mind, let's give him a round of applause. Rotary has a strong record of community service and youth empowerment. My question is, how do you think, especially with this your new office, how do you think Rotary clubs in Nigeria can champion domestic tourism development as a community project?
Thank you. Good afternoon, the audience. Rotary, we know, operates under 7 areas of focus. And part of the areas of focus, we have community economic development, which I believe centers around tourism, revolves around it. Yes, how do we support youth development towards that empowerment? Rotary has some youth programs that we would not just sponsor, but we make sure that people get involved in. As we are talking, since on Monday, we have Rotary Youth Leadership Academy happening now at Anambra State.
Wow.
RILA for short. It's meant for the youth. And we take them for 1 week. It's a program of not just networking, but getting them enlaced in crafts and arts, and equally leading them on to some program that we know that apart from the classrooms, you can get this outside the classrooms. what we do is every year, Rotary gets a town, gets a city, and we sponsor, like presently there are over 150 young men and women at Mpo. One, it's part of tourism because people from Akwa Ibom for District 9142, we are the 5 states of Southeast, Akwa Ibom and Cross River makes up District 9142. So we have people from that side coming around to Mpo. We're equally aware, just like Ephraim said, that there is this notion Anambra is not safe, it's an election time, things are happening. But people have been there since Monday. And apart from being in the camp, they are going to equally explore the city, explore the town, get to know 1 or 2 cultures of the community. Check it. If they do this every year, which is what we do, last year I think we were in Akwa Ibom or somewhere, people would have made to go around, apart from the comforts of their home, apart from things they know presently where they stay. After Raila, we equally have what we call the Rotary Community Corps. What do we do there? These are people that are not Rotarians, that are not involved in what we are doing. We try to raise young men and women to come and get involved into what we're doing, because you can't come into a town and just start flowing. You need the locals to help you and get this, to know what we're doing and get to Rotary work through them. Rotary does Rotary Youth Exchange. Somebody from Brazil is being expected in Nigeria. Just before the COVID or before the Ebola, we had people from Germany and they nearly got trapped because of the Ebola. They were here for a year. We have 2 of them. One was at Solid Base Schools for 1 full academic year. Enlist in our culture, enlist in our school, get to relate with other peoples outside their culture, outside their terrain. That's Rotary Youth Exchange, and it's fully sponsored by Rotary. What we do is get interested, indicate that you can stay outside the domain. We have approvals, not just from the parents, we have approvals even from the government. So that when you come, it's a way of when the person comes around here, the person gets the good things we do here and goes back to proclaim that there's actually more than what we hear on the internet. It's development, it's culture, because we need to live. When we talk about tourism, it's not just, yes, it's good to visit sites, but when humans, when young people who we are told, who we know are the future, comes here to know more about our culture, they take the message across to the continent. They take the message around the world. And what are we doing? It's development. We're empowering the youth. We're equally exposing him or her to the cultures around, above his or her place of residence.
Let's put our hands together for him. That seems to be what has happened after the NBA conference. Everybody is talking. We've read a lot of articles. Let me get to the big man over there, Mr. Hassan Zakari. Please bring it down, DJ. This is a serious moment, please. Okay, Mr. Hassan. We have questions here, but I want to move away from a question. Okay. One of the things that happens when developments begin is that people who are in the primary place where these developments are happening sometimes don't know what is happening. And I can beat my chest to say that there are a lot of Enugu indigenes that don't yet understand what is going on in terms of tourism and all the things surrounding it. So from where you stay and from your vantage position as someone who is deeply into tourism, what can you see about the tourist potential of not just Enugu, but the entire Southeast?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. For me, Southeast is a cynosure of culture. Okay, and for Enugu, the capital of the Southeast, there are lots. I have been packaging tours for about 27 years now. Wow. And whenever we come here, you see the Ijele Festival, the Ijele Masquerade. And sometimes we participate in the Mau Festival. And from here up to Ohafia, Arochukwu, And
that's my place, by the way.
Okay, and I will. The Iriama Festival, you know, if you know of the Iriama Festival. So those are the things that I do mostly inbound tourism.
He's now telling me about our...
So I'll do mostly inbound tourism. So those are real unique products that needs to be packaged, okay, and made it export-ready product for inbound tourists coming into Nigeria. And it sells, I used to tell my tourists when they are coming, democracy started in Abu River, you know, because every year, the Iriama Festival, different families gather to enact the law that will govern them for the next 1 year. That's unique. Even the people that are shouting democracy they don't go about democracy that way. So for me, democracy started from the Southeast. And if we can package the cultures and the tradition of the people of the Southeast, that's a very unique way to also bring about development.
What loopholes are you seeing, and what do you think can be better done?
There are loopholes in terms of accommodation outside the major cities.
Okay.
When I get to some of the interior villages, you find it difficult to
get a decent
accommodation. And where you have an accommodation, service is poor. The hotels, the service is poor. So, but in other places I have been to, we have what we call community-based tourism, where the government gives grants and seed money to youths. They build small chalets, 2-bedroom, local-made, you know, eco-friendly accommodation, and that's creating employment for the youths. And that's also bringing about development to the community, especially the interiors. So those are some of the challenges that we face. And to me, insecurity is not a challenge. You just need to know how to move, when to move, and what to do. You know, there are more kidnappings in Mexico than you have in Nigeria. But Mexico raked in about 82 billion from tourism last year.
You need to add dollars.
$2 billion. Well, the global tourism is about $2.3 trillion. That's about 3.1% of the global GDP. In 2023, Nigeria's tourism contribution to GDP in Nigeria is about 3.4. If you have to package festivals like the Umwauta festival I'm telling you about, you make a lot of money. I can tell you that there's a lot of requests from foreign tourists that want to experience the culture, the cuisine, the food of the Southeast. States like Lagos, if you remember Dirty December alone, they make $128 million. If you remove their expenses of about 72.1 million, you know how much they have made as profit. So those are things that I think the Southeast should look into to bring about more development. Thank you.
All right, before the mic comes here, give it to the lady, and I'm going to throw... All right. I'm sure you're not expecting this question, but I'm going to ask it. DJ, if someone gave you a $5,000 grant, what are you going to do with it?
Getting a $5,000 grant for a performance art troupe, we have to get a good space, a good art space. In Enugu here now, I don't think, except for the newly built
International
Conference Center, we've not seen a standard stage that can hold a full cultural performance. So that alone, and also building the artists themselves, because these artists are the main the main people we need here in this performance arts. So once you take care of your artists, build a safe space for them, we can also hold conferences for them, because I want to thank the organizers of this event. Rarely you see an event like this and they call performance artists to come and maybe represent or share their views in tourism. But now we have this. We need a safe space for artists in Enugu and in Nigeria in general. We need to build our artists. We need to train them. You need to see how we hustle for residencies. Like we want to go for residencies abroad and we are hustling for it. Actually, there was one I applied for. I got the first message, the second, the third. On the last day, they said no.
You're about to get one.
Yes. So now, these residencies can actually be organized here. We can have a space, a collective space for artists, not just performing artists, but also other artists in Nigeria. So if such grant is being given to us, Omo will go know what you want to use and do.
All right, put your hands together for her. Something tells me she will get the grant very soon. Okay, let's get to the Center for Memories Man. Ihani Boko. It's not been an easy journey. I think I've been part of a project. DJ, please, are you listening at all? All right, so back to you. There's a time to, even if you're going to play the music, there's a time to play it, and once I start talking, you bring it down. Thank you. Okay, so it's not been an easy journey, and I've had occasions where I ask myself, are we going to treat Center for Memories this way if we were Yorubas? And the answer is no. But it's been a potpourri of success story and challenges. Can you, in 2 minutes, just tell us the CFM story?
I mean, I can't begin to tell the story without, in the very first time, trying to dissect how we understand, tourism. So for us at the center, tourism is beyond travel. It's about storytelling. It's about identity. It's about the pride of place. What people travel to come and see is the culture. What they travel to come and experience is the culture. And that is what we try to, interpret in the very best way that we can at the center. The center was set up 2017. The idea is just to set up a place where the history, culture, and identity, and most importantly, the excellence of Ndibo can be documented, preserved, and promoted. This is the very tripod upon which the center stands. I mean, the culture where we come from is one that is founded on oral transmission of knowledge, right? And the custodians of that culture are the older people. So we had to lean on them to get all of the knowledge of the past in architecture, in medicine, in all dimensions of life. They hold that knowledge. And we had to interpret it in the now to make sense and to become relevant to the people. And if you see our work at the center, you could you realize that it's actually propelled by young people. And they've done an amazing job for us. Last July, we partnered with the Nigerian Pavilion, curated by Maris Iwebike, to tell the ledger story as part of the Nigerian Pavilion in the London Design Biennale. And for me, it's very important because we are talking domestic tourism. If people do not appreciate what belongs to them, other people will not appreciate it for you. Yeah. And that is why in Igbo proverb we say, Onyepo Oba Yam Pokoro. We've called our Oba Pokoro for many times, many years. Most of our artifacts, effigies, cultural totems that represent a lot to us, we do not show any cognizance to them, we do not respect. For us, we see all of those things and it's easier for us to dismiss it and say, and you're too full, and you're pastor or father, or mayor, Holy Ghost, or mayor Gemenia. But this is something that tells a story of who we are. In the Igbo culture today, most of us will tell our children, but where is it coming from? How many of us know about the Ikenga? And then you do these things every day by day, and yet you do not know where they come from. I think we need to invest in storytelling. We had a culture, Akukifu. How many of the families today still do that? Because that's where you tell your children the story of their identity. This is how your children get to know who they are. And today we're invested in taking them to schools where they can learn American, British, curriculum, and then they don't know about themselves. So what do they give to the outside world? And the center stands to work as that bridge that connects the past to the present and to the future to make it more relevant, for them. And you could see that in the programs that we've done. Last 2 months, we had the Things Fall Apart Festival. And one of the very things we told ourselves, we have to reimagine Umuofia. And we have to task the young people to think of Umuofia in the now. Umuofia that Chinua Achebe imagined in 57 rather. If Umuofia were to be in existence in the now, how would you interpret that? The rituals, the culture, the festival, the dance, the food. How do you interpret all of it in the now? And we attempted to build an Umuofia village at the Center for Memories. And then we attempted to do a reading marathon, which connected. Here we don't even regard the work, but across the world in our own, what we've come to find out, across Africa, across the US, across Canada, across the UK, that a lot of people regard the work Things Fall Apart. And you could see that in the arts that were sent from different parts of the world, the essay competitions, people from different parts of the world, participated in that. And it shows that we can export our own culture, right? We do not have to travel to the US or to the UK to show who we are. We have to be very authentic in our own very environment and show ourselves and show our essence, and people will come to it. What people come to see is what you've shown them. The Ojidoba that people go to, they've seen the pictures that come out from there. They've seen the colorful, designs, the attires, and they want to be a part of it. The Agungu Festival, people live there. They come there. So we can also do that in Enugu. We can also do that in Abia, Ebonyi, Imo, every part of Alibo.
That's what happens when a man has passion for what he does. Let's put our hands together for him. Now, without wasting time, we'll take few questions from you. If you have a question for any of the panelists, just indicate okay, I can see one hand there. Another one from the lady. Another one from the guy. So go to the guy at the back. I have 3 for now. Okay, 3 is okay. Okay. He's the man.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Ohis.
By the way, this guy is...
Okay, I am in the entertainment, lifestyle, tourism and show business. I just want to make a quick reference to the Dirty December conversation. Okay, I want to share that. I'm going to ask a question, and it's for us. It's a positive one for how we can grow in the Southeast. Now, if you check the Dirty December events, there's no one that does not have a brand sponsor. There's no one. That is one. Then 2, if you check deep down, you find out that the Lagos state government is in support of almost every event in Lagos. Sometimes they might give you venue. Sometimes they give you all the electronic billboards in Lagos as support. If you check the cost of the electronic billboards or the steel billboards in Lagos, you would understand that they are saving you a lot of money. Now, my question is, why do you think that brands do not support events in the Southeast or in Enugu State, to be specific, when Enugu has a demography of youth over 67.9%? For me, brands should be dying to come to the East, or to Enugu specifically. But why do we think that brands are not coming in? And knowing fully well that in Lagos, this brand, there's no brand that does not do their CSR. But in the East, I've found out in the last 8 years that no brand does their CSR. Why do we think they are not supporting us?
Are you directing your question to any of them in particular? Okay.
Let's take the questions
Yeah,
and then
go
get
ahead.
back to the panelists.
Thank you. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name's God Chinedum Ifeanyi. Among all the panelists, where I pick more interest in my attribute is the Rotarian.
Okay.
Whose question going to him the importance of Rotary Club in promoting tourism in Africa. So he spoke on agendas. Their agenda, 7-point agenda that supports tourism, and I pick one, where he said about youth leadership academic programs. And he said 150 youth at Impo are undergoing these programs now. And I bring into my own atmosphere, how can my own youth in this visiting of Enugu be part of it? Because I'll be interested. Thank you.
Okay,
I love
take it to
that
the lady.
attribute.
There's a lady here. And then the man wearing red cap.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nonye. I want to take my question to the man on blue.
Okay.
Sir, I heard you mention that insecurity is not a challenge. I stand to be corrected. I'm privileged to work where we travel a lot. And because of insecurity, a lot of us prefer to stay home base. And as a good tourist, you honestly don't know where you are going to. You honestly don't know where you are treading to. So when you get to a country or a state where you don't know, you don't expect a tourist to know where he or she is going to. So I want you to emphasize on that by saying that insecurity is not a challenge.
Okay.
Because as far as I know, it's a big challenge. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Give it to the chief.
Yes. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think my question should go to the man in charge of WATO.
Okay.
And that question is on community sensitization in tourism development. And part of the reason why I'm asking these questions is most of these tourists will come to communities. And I remember a project in Cross River that I was involved in a community called Adiabo, Tinapa. Before we even commence that project, we have to go into the communities and inform the communities of what they are trying to come to do and see how they will get involved in promotion of tourism. So how do you sensitize the communities around you that certain events are going to take place? Strategically, this is how they will position in enjoying the economics of tourism. How are they going to make the money? How are they going to be employed? And generally, how are they going to get involved to reap the benefits of tourism? Thank you.
All right, take the mic to him. He has the biggest job to do. Okay, but let's be time conscious. Our time is up already. Go ahead.
Thank you, moderator. First, from the event guy, why don't banks sponsor events in the Southeast? First of all, Southeast or other parts of Nigeria are disadvantaged in the sense that head offices of the businesses, banks, whether oil companies are in Lagos. And so approval comes out easier. And one thing Lagos State government did was that they gathered some of us, we sat down, we wrote a tourism development master plan for Lagos. And it went through series of stages. And we recommended there constant funding and endorsement of events. We looked at how Formula One is handled. We looked at other events around the world, that how they host those events. and we made recommendations to Lagos State government. And that's why you see a lot of events in Lagos that brings in tourists and brings in income to the state. Now, other states need to take a cue from that. You need to sit down and do a tourism development master plan. They say if you are not planning, you are just shooting in the dark. You know, so there has to be a development master plan for Enugu and other southeastern states. The state governments, I think they have Southeastern Governors Forum. They need to sit and do a cross-regional development master plan. That's that about it. Let me not waste time. Now, the insecurity question. You see, when I say that insecurity is not a challenge, I mean it, because we Nigerians are always afraid. We're always afraid of stepping out. Somebody pays money from Germany, from UK, from everywhere, comes to me, and we are moving, driving. We don't fly, we drive. I don't even go with Mopol. That's why I say you need to know how to move, where to move, and when to move. You can't be on the road anything after 6 p.m. You are inviting trouble. And you can't be on the road anything between 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. You are also inviting trouble. Okay? Some of those destinations also, you need to visit ahead. There are boys in the village. There are boys in those communities that know the in and out of those communities. Those boys will become your guide. There's what we call hop-on guides. So when you get to that destination, if I go and take somebody from that village, he knows all the hot spots. He knows all the... And when the criminals see you with such person, he will not come near you. So it's just strategy to beat insecurity. Because if you look at other destinations, see Israel or Gaza or Afghanistan, people are still going there. Tourists are going there. And they die every day, but they still go there. Yes. Bus accidents, all sorts of things. Even shooting. In America, you just enter a supermarket. Somebody will just come and shoot everybody. That's insecurity.
But we still want to go to America.
Exactly. So, and then community sensitization, sir. We have community-based tourism where we train community people on the benefits of tourism. You have to let the community know what they stand to benefit from tourism. For example, some communities, when they see tourists, they go gaga. They just start creating trouble. Part of it is the fault of the government. Some of the tourist assets that in those communities, government just take gate takings, they take the money, the community does not benefit. Now you have to share whatever you are making from those entry fees you charge from those attractions, share it with the community. And you have to also hold constant educational forum with the villagers, with the community, on what they stand to benefit. You have to teach them tourism. Otherwise, there is no any other way to sensitize them of the benefit without educating them on what they stand to benefit. At the risk of commodifying our attractions, I think some people have made mention of the sacredness, the Center for Memories. Yes, they are sacred. We have to keep them sacred. But we have to also use them, like Madam was saying, you have to use them to make money also for the community. So those are some of the things that we have to look into. Balance between commodifying our sacred sites and creating value for the community, for the owners of those assets. Thank you.
All right, moderator, just give us 5 minutes. Give him back the mic for his closing remarks. 1 minute, each of them.
Okay, one thing I need everybody to know is that tourism has gone digital. We are talking about the youth, the future of tomorrow. Tourism has gone digital, so we have to, all the grammar we're speaking here, some of them don't, the Gen Zs don't understand it. So we have to introduce technologies like virtual reality Like you were asking, how can they pass, how can someone that is not coming here see it? So virtual reality is one of the options. You have to give grants to these youths. They are very good with phones, drones, and the rest, and create videos, marketing videos, and how that's just the best way to get them involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan Zachary. Okay, Cheryl, go ahead.
Okay, my last comment, invest in creatives. The future is creative. Thank you.
All right. Rotarian Chibuzo Asogwa.
Okay, let me give answer to his question.
Okay.
He said he wanted to know how his people here will be part of it. There's a Rotary club around you. In Enugu here, we have over 15 Rotary clubs in town. We probably have what we call Rotractors. Rotractors are youth-based. Rotary is for the adults from 30, anything 30 to 18 are for Rotractors. And 18 below are for Interactors. Interactors are for people within secondary school. Even inside this hall, I'm happy I'm seeing some of the Rotractors getting involved, part of the volunteers here. What you need to do is just look around anywhere you have, depending on your location. Like I said, in Enugu, we have over 15 clubs here. Ask anybody. Like today, I was coming, I had to go home so that I represent Rotary, which I believe is equally part of what we're saying. You need to localize whatever you are doing. So I had to drop my English wear to go native. So there's always a pin, somebody somewhere wearing a Rotary pin. Ask the person. Raira Rotary Youth Leadership Academy happens every year. That is just one program of Rotary for the youth. We equally have other programs. But depending on where you stay, after this, we can equally take it up here. But just Google. Things are made easier this way. Yeah. Rotary in Enugu, Rotractors in Enugu. Even the lady sitting behind you is a Rotarian. So please take it up. She's the one smiling.
Okay.
For my closing remarks, we can't do without our culture. We can't do without our heritage. Let's remember that we came from somewhere. And we find it no mena na molondioga. Without our culture, we won't be here. So even as we expand, even as we exploit, let's remember to go back to our roots. There are so many things we can tap from our roots. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian Chibuzo. Thank you. Over to you, CEO.
In a nation confronted with unemployment, tourism holds a great potential. It remains an untapped oil well. I recommend tourism as holding potential to help address the incidences of youth unemployment in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. Ihani, let's go.
So I'd like to say that every dance, every craft, every story is a window of opportunity that allows other people to see us. Every Saturday, people travel from different places to come to Opera Square. People come down to join the Icas Trail or Tall Body to experience one of the sites in Ikirike Hill or anywhere around the Enugu. If we don't invest in our domestic tourism, others will not invest in it. Thank you.
Thank you. We want to thank the organizers. We want to thank all of our panelists. And we want to thank those of you who have attentively listened. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to do this. My name is Uche Gabriel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The panelists, the moderator, and the director will step down for a group photograph, and then we will thank them again and again for doing a wonderful job. Please don't leave here without patronizing the food vendors that are here. Their food are so delicious. I've tasted one, and I can assure you it's something good. While we are taking the group photograph, I would invite the state chairman of Society of Tourism Practitioners, Enugu, Mr. Chede, to come and take out time to talk to us, if he's still very much around. The state chairman 1 minute. Ifeanyi, can you move to your left? Madam, please come to the center. Then, Cherry, move to your, Thank you. Huh? The director will be in the center. She must be in the center. And it won't be fine that two female as it's like our state chairman stepped out. Thank you once again. Thank you once again. Thank you once again, the moderator and the panelists. We will take a group photograph with the director, myself, and my colleague. And then I want to appreciate the event planners, Biz-led Travel and Events, Enugu. Thank you so much. You've done noble. The Fit Healthcare, thank you so much. All our people, thank you. I think we'll have to end. We will, after this time out, we will move to the marketplace so that you can enjoy the beauty of 2025 Domestic Tourism Conference. On behalf of the director and all the members of Janat's Travel School, Business School, thank you all for making out time to be here. May I now invite Chief Osita Nwafo step out, take out just 2 minutes to give a vote of thanks, and then we'll call it a day. Abawedikis, please, can you step to the microphone for a vote of thanks? Thank you. Don't go without going to the marketplace. Abawedikis, you can come up here.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizers, we want to thank all the dignitaries that graced this occasion, especially His Excellency Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, Mozaina Obiora Ike, and all the speakers. We are impressed with the output of the conference and hope that we can use some of the information we got from this conference to develop the tourism sector in the whole of Southeast Nigeria. As you go back to your various destinations, may the Lord lead you safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Osita Nwafo. Tomorrow is yet another day for us, Arts and Culture Exhibition Day, and we're going to have a lot of things, palm wine testing experience, cultural diplomacy talk by also Professor Ferdinand Anikwe and His Royal Highness Ibe Ima Ubu, then traditional ceremonies including Iwa, Oji, and lots of other things tomorrow. Avail yourself the opportunity. come taste the palm wine, come and enjoy the palm wine, come and hear from experts on tourism and cultural diplomacy, and come and find out the real meaning of Iwoje. It is not just about breaking the kola nut. It is a ritual. You need to know something about this. Thank you all. Once again, I appreciate all our resource persons, the panelists, His Excellency Governor Peter Nubisimba, ably represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Dame Ugochi Makeke, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, thank you so much. His Excellency Ben Etiaba, thank you so much. And all of you wonderful people, God will continue to be with us. Thank you so much. Thank you and thank you. God bless you all. DJ, let's have the musical interlude while we walk to the marketplace for other activities. Thank you.